Hello and welcome to another class. My name is Danika. Thank you so much for joining me here online. For this class today, we are going to be taking it slow. It's been rainy here in Niagara, so maybe we're feeling a little bit down, maybe fatigued, and this will be a class where we can just find the comfort in some poses. And even if we don't find that comfort right off the hop, we'll be taking time to hold in each variation and try to allow ourselves to use a breath and really find that comfort. For this class, please feel free to always modify your practice and make it your own, listening to your body cues. Myself, I will be cueing some of the poses and almost finding other variations or modifying myself, just in response to a little bit of a baby growing. And so you please do the same. So to start this practice, we are going to begin in a tabletop. And so finding comfort on all fours and really finding that the fingers can spread wide, right? Increase the base of support through the fingers, grip into the ground, really let them be active. And we'll start to find our cat-cows warming up into the spine. When you are ready, let's start by lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, opening the heart and the gaze forward. On an exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the navel to spine, rounding through the back, tucking your chin in towards your chest. Good. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly. Once again, opening into your cow. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, vertebrae by vertebrae, rounding into your cat back. Good. We'll find another inhale, opening up through the front body. And then tucking the toes under this time, let's exhale. Find that the tailbone tucks. Pull the navel toward the spine, and this time send yourself back into a bit of a child's pose. On your inhale, lifting up, puffing through the shoulder blades, and then lifting that tailbone, dropping the belly, looking forward. Kind of like a wave through the body. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, rounding through the back, pushing through the arms, send the hips right back toward the heels. Inhale, rising, lifting your gaze, opening up. One more time, we'll send it back. Pull the belly in, sending it to the hips. Maybe you feel that stretch in your toes. And let's inhale, coming up into our tabletop. Start to lift the knees and inch off the mat, sending the hips back and then up for a downward facing dog. So in this pose, just allow yourself to find length through the lower body, in the hamstrings, in the back of the legs, as well as through the upper body. So all throughout the spine, tailbone reaches high, crown of the head, reaching towards that space between the hands. Your gaze is toward the back of your mat. Holding here, finding any swing movements. And holding our downward dog just to feel the inversion here. Start to scan the body and recognize or become aware of how it's feeling right now. Can you find extra space between the shoulders and your head, letting the neck lengthen? Good. Now from here, let's start to just drop the knees down. Take a moment to sit back onto the heels and rotate through the wrists. Okay, you can stretch through the fingers, give them a little bit of a shake. Nice. And then we'll come back into our tabletop. And we'll send that right leg back behind us. Toes point down towards the ground. You can always send them back. However, pointing towards the ground helps to keep the hips square. Make sure that both left and right sides are level. When you're ready, let's exhale, pulling that right knee in towards your nose. You might tap your nose towards your knee. You might just let that knee hang underneath the chest or the abdomen. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, pulling that knee in. Inhale, send it back. And exhale, pulling that knee in. Good. We'll send the knee back, now keeping the knee bent. And just find that you're drawing a counterclockwise circle with the knee. Really trying to open into the hip. And then the next time that your knee lifts, let's see if we can step that foot toward the top of our mat. Good. Now keeping the knees about 90 degrees, let's lift up. Arms reach overhead, and then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. We'll turn into this front knee, so looking toward the right side. Keeping that front foot rooted. Try to press palms into one another, nice and active, feeling strong still across the back of your body through the shoulder blades. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, hold. Beautiful. Inhale, stretching the arms wide. And then exhale, bringing that left hand down to the mat, reaching your right arm up and turning your gaze toward that right hand if it's comfortable. Now that back left toe or foot can always curl under, lifting that left knee off of the mat. Feel the left thigh press up towards the ceiling. Feel that front right foot still root down evenly. So pressing through that big toe mound. Nicely done. One more inhale, reaching up, lifting out of the left shoulder blade. And then exhale, let's bring that left knee down to the mat. Lifting up the left hand, right hand will find a strong, firm back right thigh, reaching your left arm high. Nice. On an exhale, let's windmill the hands down on either side of that front foot, letting yourself sink into a little bit of a lunge here, and then sending the hips back, pulling the right toes towards you. Really looking for that stretch through the right leg. So try to drop that right hip if you can. Try to pull that left hip forward. Again, in attempt to keep the hips square. Pull the big toe and pinky toe side of the foot evenly back. A little bit of exploration if you'd like. You can always turn the toes side to side, noticing that you might be able to stretch through different areas of the back of the leg. A little bit of different sensations here. Good. Try to create that long spine. Good. Take one more inhale. And an exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, bending into that front knee. Curl the back toes under, rooting through the hands. Step back to your downward facing dog. Take a moment to feel the right leg, the right side of your body. And feeling the left side, knowing that we'll move through those same poses so that the left side feels equally lengthened and stretched. Perfect. Looking towards your hands, come onto the toes, drop your knees down to the mat. Good. Next inhale, let's send that left leg back behind us. And exhale, pulling the knee in towards you. Inhale, find that length, reaching through the heel. Exhale, curling in. Inhale, reach long. And exhale, last one, in towards the chest. Beautiful, sending that knee back, again, still bending through the knee. It's that clockwise direction this time. Rotating and moving at the hip. Warming that area, that joint up. And when your leg lifts next time, see if you can sweep it around to step to the top of your mat. On an inhale, let's lift up. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. And again, pressing evenly down through that front foot and that back foot, long through the spine. Let's turn the body toward the left side. So you're turning into that front left leg. Palms press into one another. Really feeling strong, open across the chest, but engaged through the back body. Not forcing any twists, but going to the point where your body feels like it's being very gently, what's the word? Twisted out or ringed out. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Ringed out. Releasing any tension, any built up there. Good. All right, let's use our next inhale, sweeping the arms wide. Exhale, dropping the right hand down, left arm toward the ceiling. Can your eyes follow that left hand? Can you lift out of that right shoulder joint? Same option if you'd like to curl the back toes and lift your knee off of the mat. Press that right thigh toward the ceiling. Let the fingers of the right hand spread wide and grip into the mat. So strong base through that hand and left foot. Big toe mound, still pressing into the floor on that left foot. Good, last breath here. Inhale and exhale. Yeah, we'll drop our knee right back down to the mat. Lifting the right hand up, let that left hand drop toward the back thigh, right arm lifts. Beautiful. Good, windmilling the hands down, we frame that front foot. Feel free to sink through, lunging into that knee a little bit, and then sending the hips right back. Pulling left toes towards you. Long through the spine. Can you keep the heart open? Maybe your gaze is lifted. One side is often tighter than the other, so don't be concerned if that's the case. Just try to find your breath. Try to drop that left hip. Send it back while you pull that right hip forward. One more breath. And on your exhale, lunge into that knee. Frame that front foot. Can you curl the toes under and step back to your downward facing dog? Good. Inhale, let's lift the heels high. Coming down onto the knees, we'll find our chaturanga. Squeezing the elbows in, lower down halfway. Inhale, press all the way back up. And exhale, lowering down. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, up. One more time. Inhale, or exhale rather, down. Inhale, up. This one you can move into a flow. If you'd like a baby cobra, an upward dog, or a cow pose with myself, feel free to find that little vinyasa. Exhaling down. Inhale, lifting and opening through the front body. Good. Exhale, sending it back to a child's pose. Knees together or knees wide. Finding that connection with your forehead down on your handmade pillow or Good. Reaching the arms and forward. Inhale, coming up. Let your knees be hip distance apart. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now on an inhale, let's sweep that right leg high. Just like we did that counterclockwise knee circle and hip rotation, let's find that same movement, opening the right hip and then circling that leg down and around. A big, big circle. Good. On our third one, we're going to step that foot toward the top of our mat. Good. Now from here, inhale, high crescent. And exhale, pulling the hands down to heart center. Inhale, long through the spine. And exhale, twisting to the right side. Good. Hold strong here. Find length through that spine again. Press the left thigh back. Exhale, hold. Inhale, reaching the arms wide. Exhale, leaning back. Right hand to a firm back leg. Left arm high. And then exhale, left hand down to the mat. Right arm to the sky. Beautiful. And this one, if you'd like to, you can work on straightening that front right leg. Broad across the chest. Open the ribs, turn them to the right side. And on an exhale, framing that front foot. Now step back to your high plank. Inhale as you shift forward, puff through the shoulder blades. Exhale your chaturanga. Inhale to an upward lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. This time we sweep the left leg high. Clockwise circles, we open that hip and circle the leg down and around. All the way up, as big and as wide as we can. That third one, again, we're stepping toward the top of the mat. Good, adjusting as needed. Inhale, sweeping the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen, press that right thigh back. Exhale, twisting toward that left leg. Nicely done. Inhale, stretching the arms wide. Exhale, bring that right hand back. Right arm to the sky. Good. Your next exhale, you're going to cartwheel that hand down toward the mat. Left arm to the sky. Staying here or choosing to play around with straightening out that left leg. Broad across the chest. Can you pull that left hip back, right hip forward? Good, and exhale. Let's frame that front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. Shaking out or pedaling through the legs. Good. Inhale, come toward the high plank, puffing through the shoulder blades nice and strong through the arms. Rolling onto the outer edge of that right foot, let's step the left leg halfway up the mat. Reaching the left arm to the sky, exhale and drop the hips down. So that left arm will just rest on that left thigh. You can always walk that right hand out a little bit, kind of bending into that arm, deepening that stretch through the side body. Perfect. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So bringing your hand down and around, stepping back. We'll switch. So now we can roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. Right foot comes halfway up the mat. Reaching the right arm high, dropping the hips down. Right arm rests on that right thigh. Same idea. If you'd like to walk that hand out, maybe bend into the arm a little bit. Stretching and opening the left side body. Let's inhale, come right back up and around. Hand down to the mat, knees can root. Now, if you have a little bit of a towel or a blanket nearby, you can roll it up so that it looks something like this. If you don't have a towel nearby you, but you are practicing on a yoga mat today, you can always roll up your yoga mat and use that. Otherwise, you're welcome to also not use a prop. But we'll come into our final Shavasana pose, which I will recommend a Supta Baddha Konasana, just a nice way to open up through the upper body, the thoracic spine and chest, as well as the hips. So with the towel or blanket, place it behind you, and ideally we want the shoulder blades to rest on that blanket, or that spot kind of underneath the breast line. Now the legs can stay in a cross-leg position if that's comfortable for you. Another version is bound angle or butterfly or Baddha Konasana, letting the soles of the feet touch. Knees can fall open. A really restorative version of the pose is, again, if we have support underneath the knees, but again, not necessary or not mandatory. So allow yourself to roll down onto your back. Again, take the time, adjust the props as you need, and then allow yourself to sink in here. There we go. Okay, let the palms turn up and open toward the ceiling. Let your breath expand through your front body. With a lot of the leaning forward in our practice today, this is a nice way to counter and open through the front. At the sides of your body, find a connection, a merging point through the feet. And I encourage you to stay here for a solid 5 or 10 minutes if you can, and let the practice sink in for you. I will just sit up and close the practice so that I can say goodbyes and just thank yourself for practicing today, for finding movement in the body, which automatically encourages movement of the breath. Sometimes it creates a shift in the mind, a little bit of movement in the mind, a change of perspective, a change of feeling or state. Never a bad thing. Hopefully you found a little bit of a deeper connection with yourself and your being. And thank you so much for sharing your practice with myself and joining me here today. From the light in me to the light in you, Namaste.